where in the global chain are you, really? So think beyond, because we're all exposed to risk.
Yeah.
It might seem like this huge project, but it might not be that hard.
Our president tweets and tariff shifts. And suddenly, for your startup, packaging in the US might be a lot more expensive for you, and you might lose customers worldwide. Today, we're going to give you a checklist how you can navigate in this global world when you import and export. You're on the safe side on YouTube here. We're here to educate, and we have our business lawyer here, Kat, who's going to get us through the checklist so you can have safe import-export.
Hello.
Welcome, as usually.
Yeah. So there's a lot of misinformation.
Definitely.
And a lot of politics and opinions. So we'll skip all of that and we'll make sure that this checklist is relevant today and 10 years from now. So we're going to go to the basic, what you need to know when importing, exporting, scaling globally. Simple as that.
Yes, and we are here to talk about knowledge that you can use in your business. It's good tools that you can have. And remember, this is not legal advice as usual, it's knowledge sharing. So imagine I have a bakery here in Stockholm. What's in it for me if I just sell bread in Stockholm, these global things that are happening?
Would you care? Are you affected?
Am I?
Well, I actually, when we discussed doing this specific episode, I was eating some walnut bread made in Stockholm, where we do this shoot today. And I figured, well, let's do some research and see if we're part of the global chain when I go to my local bakery and I sit as a YouTuber preparing for our podcast.
Definitely.
And what I came up with was that Swedish homemade bread, walnut bread, the grain came from Ukraine, the walnuts came from the US, the yeast came from Spain, sugar, Brazil, the butter from France. It was baked here in Stockholm, Sweden. The industrial oven used was from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And the freezing equipment was from Denmark. It was packed in Norway with packaging from China. And it was actually sold in the frozen version globally.
So as a small business owner in Stockholm, I am a big part of this.
Yeah, we're all part of the global chain. There's no way getting around it.
So that's why we need to learn about it.
Yeah.
How do we navigate? So let's kick it off with this very useful checklist.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, conduct a trade analysis of your business.
Yeah. Have a look. Where in the global chain are you, really? Is it that you're looking for online business and you want to expand internationally? Or are you a supplier and you have a local clients or customers, but they are in their turn export globally? Or do you have a hero product like the walnut bread, maybe the walnuts, that could come into trouble? Or do you have a key competence that's active? Maybe you have a tech team in Turkey or in India or in Vietnam. Is that a risk? So do your analysis. Where are my global touch points? Where is there a risk?
Yes, very useful. Number 2 is think beyond tariffs.
Yeah. So now we're talking about tariffs, but we are talking about trade barriers. And then they can come in many shapes and forms. It can, like I said, it can be using that tech team in India suddenly. That becomes more expensive or requires licensing. There are many, many ways a country can use different barriers to entry, is what we call it. An example is that France, the local car companies typically had lighter weighing motors. So they had a lower tax on motors that had a lower weight, while the international brands had heavier motors, which means that on the face of it, it was not directed at foreign car companies. But de facto, it actually premiered the local car companies. So it can be visa requirements, license, taxes, requirements for specific types of pesticides, etc. So think beyond. In your specific field, what is the global touch points and what are the risks.
Really good. Number 3 is conduct a product analysis.
And here we go to the HS code, the harmonized system. Make sure you understand what product code, business international, that your product or component of a product falls under. So you actually know the tariffs and the risks for higher or lower tariffs.
Wow.
Make sure and we have a specific episode on tariffs and that system, how it works.
Yes, really good. I recommend that. We have number 4 then, review your contracts.
Because we're all exposed to risk.
Yeah.
I mean, again, learn from COVID. Everybody was reviewing the contract, looking at the force majeure. Can I get out of it? What happens if I cannot deliver or I cannot have that event that I planned, right? So review your contracts and see if you can add more flexibility in the price adjustment mechanisms. Or what happens if I'm late at delays? Can I have flexibility? Do I have minimum quantities that I have to buy? Can I have some flexibility there? And if I'm on the other end, I'm a seller to a company, remove the flexibility. If you're selling to a big corp and you're afraid that they might move from your region in Vietnam on board to the US, try to enforce, have minimum quantities, lock in that price for longer, etc.
So agreements is really important.
Yeah.
Good to know that. We have number 5, review your general terms towards end customers.
Same thing. What happens if you sell to an end customer and there are delays? Are you clear with the tariffs and the freight that they might have to pay? What happens quality-wise if you have to shift some sourcing or production? So do review your terms and conditions so you know what you're liable for and what is not. What happens if they never collect the item? Because they bought it prior to a tariff increase and it's left in customs. So review your terms and conditions.
Really good. We have number 6, review tax and customs handling.
That goes without saying, right?
Yes.
So review what taxes you will be subject to. In the EU, we have a one-stop shop that you can utilize because otherwise you need to register for VAT tax in each EU country, which can be very burdensome. And in the US, you have an economic nexus, which means that if you have significant connection to a state, then you have to report and pay sales taxes in that state, even if you don't have physical presence in that state. So make sure you review what actual tax regulation you're subject to and what you need to do.
Yes. Number 7, build buffer margins in the supply chain.
And that goes back really to learning from COVID, the war on Ukraine, and the hindrances for bringing something in the usual way. Can you route it, reroute it? Is there anywhere in the EU you can, or anywhere else than China, etc.?
Good. Number 8, consider local presence.
Many companies do decide to have local presence if they have a big market in the US or in Asia. And it doesn't have to be that hard. But if you want to avoid tariffs, of course, you also need to source and do the production in that country. But review it. It might seem like this huge project, but it might not be that hard.
Good. Number 9, seek government support or advisory service.
There's so much help, even financial help sometimes for small, medium-sized businesses. So do review what you're eligible for, because many don't know and don't seek. So there's so much support, both factual help, you don't have to pay an expensive expert all the time, and actual financial help. So seek and look in your whereabouts.
Number 10 is seek external support.
Yeah. Because even though it might sound pricey with a lawyer, it might save you so much. It might save your business. It might save you. It might mean that you are the one coming out as a winner in the end. So, a price now or not reaching your goal and having to shut down in the extreme case. I mean, do think about it. What can you do now to add value long term?
Really good. And number 11 is engage in dialogue with your business partners.
So let's say you're a local consultant or tech supporter, etc. And you have local customers, but they in their turn are global. talk to them. I mean, you cannot go over antitrust laws, okay, of course, but do have a discussion. Are you planning to onboard in the US? Will I be left behind? Will you keep your production here where I'm working? So have a dialogue, and you'll see that perhaps you don't only just find information, you might even find an agreement that's better for you, like minimum quantities, etc.
Well, that's really good, because what I hear from you now is being flexible, because, I mean, as we see in the past years, everything can happen.
Yeah.
So be prepared instead of just sitting there like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
Now we're here.
Yeah, I completely agree. Anything can happen. That we've learned since COVID, right? Anything.
So be prepared. Walk through this checklist, which you can use, and also seek support, because there's a lot of things online, and there is also lawyers that can help you.
Yeah. Make sure you go to the right sources.
Yes, definitely. And remember, this is not legal advice. It's knowledge sharing. We have our business lawyer here. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
And until next time.
Hej då!
Hej då!